SGE, VTO, for us, virtual try-on are things that we've developed to go through this. And I think you'll see being developed further. I think you'll only see these things progress and iterate to become even more assistive and more blended and more tailored.
Stephanie, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. For people in marketing, I think it's, double soul all the time. It's nice because you can relax, but at the same time, everyone has to finish things, right? Before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, people in marketing, especially you with shopping, right? I cannot even imagine how busy you can be.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a race to the finish. Obviously, Q4 is one of our biggest, opportunities to really show what we have. So it's been very busy.
And I can't wait to dive into anything that is like, shopping related. But before doing that, why don't you tell us a bit more about, who is Stephanie, right? So we go through these sort of little framework called MAP. There is a mission that you mentioned, the purpose. Just to know a bit more about yourself, your career, also personally.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's always been about how do I create impact, in any aspect of my work, even if it's just like meeting an OKR or a goal or, kind of the bigger picture of here at Google, we have a lot of tools to help small businesses and, Black-owned businesses and, minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses. So I think for me, it's always about creating impact and how can we really change or shape something and make it grow.
Amazing. And do you have any achievements that you are really proud of?
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple things. I mean, I've worked a few places at this point in my career. I think two really stand out. One is Farfetch, where we were really able to create separate businesses. Marketplace was obviously the first business that were there, but then looking at the business and where we were, is like, okay, we can also create VIP. We can also create Farfetch Solutions, which became advertising on the site. So I think for me, it was a really nice experience to be able to create and actually launch new revenue streams for a company that actually succeeded and, are maintained and still going on today. So that's probably a proud moment. And obviously we know Farfetch is now, doing other things, but I think, they'll still maintain some of those programs, which is great. And I think here at Google, we've really been able to lean into shop values, which is something that we see people really wanting to do, even if it's like for money or for shopping small business. And we've been able to develop and market a lot of tools around this, from small business filters to women-owned filters to Black-owned filters. And I think that is something that I'm really proud of, how we kind of have brought those to market, because that's something that you can really see immediate impact, not only for the merchants, but also really helping consumers shop how they want to shop.
Love to hear that. I also have to ask you about, AI.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about that. So one of the first wanted to know is that, because shopping is bigger, but also faster and easier to use, right? And sometimes you as a consumer might need also like new features to help you out, right? So talking about the holidays, right? Sometimes, someone is like, oh, what can I get, for, my spouse, my friends, my family, right? It's a bit difficult on that. So I see that Google is rolling out this new generative AI shopping feature, especially for the holidays. So first of all, how does it work, and how can make a revolution in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think this is the first holiday season where generative AI is part of the larger cultural conversation, right? This all kind of came into play earlier this year and has been a really explosive and, highly, really high velocity outcome. So we're really happy with what we've been able to do. So it is the first time that customers can use generative AI to help them shop in their holiday shopping. And I think for us, we've been able to roll out a few features that you've just mentioned. One is, search generative experience, where people can actually use the tools to make it easier to shop for deals and last minute gifts, because obviously it's asking them questions and prompting so they can get just the right gift. So I think overall, what does the technology do is that it really helps you, it prompts you and asks you more questions and gets more specific so that it's even more targeted to what you need and what you want. So I think that the tools that we really rolled out around AI-powered gifting are really going to help us.
And also, so that talking about AI and understanding what people really want to to buy and their behavior and so on, you already compiled the Holiday 100, right? There is the most searched item for gifts. So I'm very curious to know about this one. Is anything that was either interesting to you that you were not expecting, or any bizarre items on this list that come up like kind of out of the blue?
I mean, I think there's always interesting items on that list because they are the most searched. I mean, last year we had things like, a home fridge, which, was for your makeup. And, like that was like over 200% more searched than last year. So I think that gift guide has become one of my favorite things that we do. Not only because it, gives you amazing things, but it's also like the most searched things. So there's like a lot of context behind where everything's coming from. And it really is a place to find kind of the out of the way unique, like, a sleeping bed for your dog, or like there's actually a bed this year on that's kind of like a dog bed for people that has been really popular. So, there are all these kinds of things that you're like, where did this come from? But when you look at it, you're kind of like, oh, that's really cool. It's something that actually maybe I'm going to buy one for the giftee and one for myself. So it really is a fun way to shop for the holidays.
And so you already said a couple of items there, but is there any other category or specific vertical that you're seeing is either trending or is getting to a direction where it might be even more popular in the next 12 months?
I think it's always trending, but home and garden is always one of those that's trending. Obviously, electronics are big and apparel is still the largest category. But I think there's some interesting things in the home and garden category, like even home gardens, that people are really looking at that are really interesting.
And do you think is that because like people in the past years spent a bit more time at home, or is there like any specific trends like on that or reasoning why?
I think one could probably assume that there's still some lagging trend coming out of COVID when people were at home and, growing their own gardens and doing things like that. So, and discovered like, wow, this is an easy way for me to have really cool fresh vegetables, herbs, whatever they're trying to grow. So I think it's probably something coming out of that. But the why, is probably less clear than the what.
But I also think that is interesting because people search on maybe like on Google, and then after that, what happened is that they post on social media, right? And other people see that, right? So I think that more and more is this loop of push and pull marketing, right? Because you see something, then you also search for that, you buy the product, you make your own content, right? So I think it's sometimes you get into a trend, not because you wanted to, but because maybe you discover it, right?
Yeah, no, and I think that's the great thing about Google, right? We have all these tools to help you discover these new things, and you can go off and search more, buy them anywhere. But I think the point of why Google's so great is it gives you the opportunity to actually find things within like the vast world of, the internet, but actually cull it down and curate it to your needs and then, buy it or discover it how you want.
You said AI before because, of course, big buzzword for everyone and helping people. But specifically when it comes to shopping, also something else is, quite useful, and that is AR, right? Mm-hmm. So all the trial features. So I have a couple of questions on that. I wanted to ask you, like, first of all, how these AR try-on features. So first of all, what they are, right, for people listening in and might not be familiar with.
Yep.
And also how they are like affecting merchants, right, and consumers. So let's start with that, and now we can go more in details about like some good examples of that.
Our AR features, obviously we launched Beauty in 2020, which has been very successful. We just followed it up actually with a Pat McGrath pop-up that we did earlier this year that was really great. And you really see shoppers generating towards this and using it because it's really helpful in understanding what makeup will look like before you buy it, right? And I think, we have virtual try-on, which we just introduced earlier this year for tops. And again, it enables you to see, what it looks like before you try it. And we've shot in both cases of beauty and in apparel, a lot of shapes and sizes, colors of people so that you can match almost, the closest to you. So you're really seeing it on a skin tone that, is close to you, hair that is close to your color, a body shape that's close to what you think you are so that you're really seeing it accurately. So for consumers, I think it's like instead of having to go into the store and do all this, you might be able to do it online and just buy it or have a really good indication of like, these are the things I want. So you can go in the store and be quick and more efficient. And for merchants, hopefully, we'll be able to see something that supports that lower returns, right? Because if people are more sure of what they're buying and are more confident on sizing, then, they're more apt to be able to go and keep it instead of, the routine. I mean, I worked in e-commerce for a very long time where people buy 6 sizes. And then obviously, 5 of them are coming back, which, when you're looking at margins and trading, that's not the best practice.
Is your brand ready to amplify its reach? Well, the influencer marketing factory is here for you. We are a global influencer marketing agency helping brands ignite their growth. From influencer identification to campaign strategy, handling legalities and agreements, to managing shipping and logistics, we got you all covered. We work with hundreds of brands across different verticals, from Fortune 500 companies to direct-to-consumer brands. And we don't just stop there. With detailed ROI analysis, we help brands like yours measure success, transforming impressions into conversions. You can find us at theinfluencermarketingfactory.com or just searching the Influencer Marketing Factory on Google. And, so we went through AI, right? And then AR. And then you said at the beginning, right, of the conversation about small businesses and minority businesses. So I saw that Google has officially added a new filter, right, to the search of the shopping results, right? So,
small business filter?
Yeah, exactly. That one, just products offered by small businesses. So first of all, why is that important? And then also, I was wondering how small businesses, right, and also solopreneurs, influencers, content creators that also they are creating their own line of products these days and maximize their live sales using this type of filter.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, we're really finding that people shop according to their values, whether that means price or, being mindful of their money or shopping and supporting local businesses. And I think, the trend over the past few years has been that, obviously people still appreciate big box retailers in that environment, but we are seeing that people are supporting local business and smaller businesses a lot more. So, of course, we thought this was a great opportunity to help people be able to sort through that and find them easier. So we introduced a small business feature, I think, about a month ago, making it easier for U.S. shoppers to discover and shop small businesses. And, we've added the filter to search so you can see only the merchants across the web that identify a small business. So for shoppers, I think this just obviously makes it easier instead of having to sift through and figure out, these are people who have self-identified, that we've set criteria. So it's very easy for them to go in, find who they want, and then shop that business easily. And I think this is like a nice carry-on to a nearby feature that we launched years ago, that you can find a business nearby. And a lot of those tend to be small and local businesses. So I think it's a feature that's seen a lot of usage, and I think we'll be able to see a lot of usage. And as far as for the other, for celebrities or whoever, small businesses who want to do it, I think for them, it is something that we see that people are searching is a statistic that's going up. So I think it will only help their traffic, right? Because people will be able to find them a lot easier.
And in addition to the AI that we call the AR, the small business filters, are you noticing any other, trends in the commerce and marketing side that are getting more popular, or you personally think we as marketers should start focusing on?
Overall, we're seeing that technology is shaping shopping to be much more assistive, with all of the, search gen AI technology, blended. So I think taking omni-channel even to the next level. So, more offline, online, and be able to, kind of search and find both. And then, tailored to you. So a lot more personalized. So I think, these are trends that have been coming along for a while, but I think now we're seeing them actually in action and seeing the technology actually catch up to the need, which is exciting. So I think, SGE, VTO, for us, virtual try-on are things that we've developed to go through this. And I think you'll see being developed further. Lens is another great example of this, where you can, take a picture of something and be able to find it right away. And as we mentioned, AR beauty. So I think you'll only see these things progress and iterate to become even more assistive and more blended and more tailored.
And so what do you think that is missing right now in the behavior of users, right? Because for instance, for Lens, right, it's easy. You can quickly take a picture, right? And then you can potentially buy there. Do you think that now in the market, it's are there any features missing that are quite important during the life cycle, or during the behavior of purchase of a user? Or do you think that it's already there? We just need people to get more used to it.
I think there's always more ways, to help the customer journey, and I come from, the school of, e-commerce and especially Farfetch, which was blended from the beginning, right? It was always about, the in-store experience, but helping these boutiques also have an offline experience. So I think we might see things in the future that, just not Google, but I'm just talking in general, of we just talked about a blended more blended opportunities. So are there more in-store features to help people shop and, kind of iterate to their offline experience? But I think as far as what we have now, I think we're where we need to be, and especially the tools that Google has developed. And I think you'll probably just see great iterations and in development of even more things along those lines.
And Stephanie, is there anything else that I didn't ask you today that you are either excited to talk about, or again, in addition to trends, anything else you're noticing lately?
I think technology really is shaping the way people shop in the future. So I do think, a lot of the tools that we've launched in the recent kind of past month will not only be helpful, but I think will really start to shape the focus. So it just won't be AI gifting. It'll be, some of the things that we, think, we think this technology that we've developed will, continue the path. So I think we really covered everything.
Fantastic. Amazing. I learned a lot, about, again, AI, AR. There's so much, right, that is going on. And all the time, what I say is that behaviors of consumers change all the time, right? So as technology and also as platforms, right, you have to understand, okay, we have to go in that direction because this is what people want to see. And also what is very interesting is that sometimes we don't know the why, the reasoning right behind. You have the data, you said, but sometimes it's difficult, right, to understand the why. And so there is a lot of work behind, behind the scene, right, to understand, okay, we have to do these specifically. Maybe we don't know why, but we can see that there is a trend, there is a direction. So
yeah, I mean, we're early days, and I think, everyone's early days on this. I think there's lots of thought, research, and, just, real thoughtfulness around how to approach it. But I think, the more we learn, the better we know. And I think that the better products that we'll be able to develop and help people along their shopping journey. So I think it's an exciting time. If nothing else, I think it's a very exciting time. And I think, fasten your seatbelts.
Absolutely. I agree on that. I'm very curious, and it's exciting because every month there is something new. So who knows in 1 year, what we're going to see on the Holiday 100 and anything, related to AI and AR. So I'm going to continue following your journey on that. And Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me.
This was the Influence Factor by the Influencer Marketing Factory, and I'll see you next week.